So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K25 Next Gen. And in today's video, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. I would say last season in Cleveland was relatively successful. They ended up winning 48 games, taking the 4 seed in the Eastern Conference, and then making it all the way to the East semis before losing to the eventual champion Celtics in 5 games. So what they did this offseason wasn't really very shocking. They basically just gave a lot of their guys extensions, and this is a team that basically has their core locked in. I think the biggest thing for this team moving forward is going to be, finding more consistent offense around Donovan Mitchell. So today our goal is to obviously, build this thing up a little bit more, hopefully get this team another championship. We'll go over this roster a little bit more, maybe where I think there's a little bit of weaknesses, some of the strengths that this team does have in just a second. But before we do, as always, let me know any other rebuild ideas down below in the comment section. Always looking to see what you guys want me to rebuild. I know a lot of people have different requests, and I am trying to get to all of them. I promise you, I will someday, eventually. So excited for this one today. It would be nice to get Cleveland their second championship, and I'm excited, so let's get into it. As we just discussed in the intro, I want to talk about this roster. They brought back basically everybody this offseason. There was no major additions from free agency or anything like that. So let's just talk about this team as it sits right now, because obviously it is a talented group. You don't give this many guys contract extensions if you are worried about the, foundation of your team, if you will. So starting out with a very important position here, that being the point guard spot. Darius Garland has certainly had some ups and some downs throughout his career. I wouldn't say last season was anything super special for Darius Garland. He actually went down like 3 or 4 overalls here in 2K, and he is certainly somebody that's going to have to play at a high level if he wants to, maintain the contract he is currently on this team. So I like Darius Garland a lot. He is a frequent trade target for me here in 2K. I just need him to play more at that 2022-23 level than he did at 23-24. The backup point guard spot isn't my favorite. Now, Ty Jerome and Craig Porter Jr. are certainly solid options. I'm actually surprised Craig Porter Jr. is not a little bit of a higher overall. Nonetheless, I think there is a little bit of a room for upgrade there. We will consider, again, all of our different options because I'm not in love with either of those two right now. We head to the shooting guard spot. Donovan Mitchell, of course, has now spent 2 full seasons in Cleveland. He still, for some reason, doesn't get nearly enough credit for how good he really is. I think I saw on a podcast the other day he was on and basically just saying, well, if I want to be considered top 10, top 15, whatever it is, I got to make a conference finals. Of course, he has yet to do that, but he is absolutely incredible. And I do think that series against Boston would have been a little bit more entertaining if Donovan Mitchell did not get injured in it, but he is so good. He has never missed the playoffs once in his career, and he is an automatic bucket. So I just think he's getting almost underrated at this point. I don't think people talk about him like he's even close to top 10 territory. And I'm not saying he is in the top 10. I think top 15 is more fair, but my God, man, I'm a big Donovan Mitchell fan. You got Caris LeVert here, obviously the 30-year-old veteran backup shooting guard. He is on a 1-year contract, and he's been a very consistent player throughout his career. Never going to be any sort of star for us or anything like that, but it is good to have veteran guys that can score the basketball here. You got Sam Merrill, decent 3-point shooter, 28 years old, 74 overall. I'm not really sure how much playing time he'll get here today, but it was, of course, always good to have a nice shooter coming off the bench. The small forward spot, maybe the weakest position on this team right now. Nothing against Max Strus. It's just the honesty of the situation. Max Strus is a 77 overall, obviously departed the Miami Heat after a couple really solid seasons for them and had a pretty good first year here in Cleveland from what expectations were. Shot nearly 42% from 35% from 3. I'm looking at field goal percentage. And he is somebody that I really do think is going to be an important, I don't want to say like a be-all, end-all, because that would be kind of crazy as like a 5th option, but I think Max Strus, in the way he performs, is really indicative of how this team is going to succeed. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, but he's somebody that if he gets going, he's really hard to stop. Let me just tell you that from my Celtics fan PTSD of him playing against my team while he was with the Heat. You get the point. Isaac Okoro, who may very well be known at this point as a nice role player, but what he's probably known for more as the final Woj bomb. That was his last breaking news, was Isaac Okoro's contract extension. He had been sitting in free agency for basically all summer and just, I don't know if there was an interest or he just really wanted to go back to Cleveland, but ended up re-upping with the Cavs for number 5 overall pick back in 2020. And I don't know if these stats would be indicative of saying he's a bust or anything like that, but I'd like to think there's maybe a little bit more hope for a number 5 overall pick. So we'll see what we do with him here today. You got Jalen Tyson, 21 years old. If that overall can go up, maybe he sees a little bit of run. We head to the power forward spot. You got Evan Mobley, who I think is one of the premier defensive players in this league. Similar to what I was talking about in the intro, if he can just be a little bit more consistent consistent offensively, I do truly think the sky is the limit for him, because I am a very genuinely big believer in Evan Mobley. So excited to see what we can do with Mobley here today. Georges Niang, nice role player, can shoot the ball a little bit. I don't really know what to expect from him. He's 31. He's not going to get that much better. You got Dean Wade here. Seeing the name Dean Wade gives me PTSD. I don't know if anybody remembers that Celtics and Cavs game last year during the regular season, but the Celtics were up like 18 points in the fourth quarter, and then Dean Wade, I'm not kidding, turned into a combination of Steph Curry and Kobe Bryant, and it was one of the worst nights for me throughout the last regular season. And then the center spot. Jared Allen's been a very consistent big man throughout his entire career here in the NBA. Of course, spent the early years with Brooklyn, now a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers. I love the contract. He's obviously a very strong defensive-minded center, and he is somebody that's not going to give you, 25 points a game or anything like that, but, 15 and 10, 16 and 9, whatever it's going to be. I like him quite a bit as my center spot. And then, as much as I, respect Tristan Thompson and the things he's done for this franchise as a whole, in the big 2024-25 season, I certainly need a little bit of a better backup big man. So we may have a few trades before we kick off year one, but I do like this team quite a bit. I think a little bit, as I mentioned, more consistency on offense, while that really solid defense stands still, is going to be the, ideal of winning the championship here. So let's get into some moves. We said we needed an upgrade at the backup center spot, and although Cody Zeller isn't any sort of, magical superstar that's going to lead us to the promised land, he is a 3 overall upgrade over Tristan Thompson, and more importantly, he is on a multi-year contract. So Ty Jerome, Sam Merrill, and a 2025 second, heading to Atlanta for Cody Zeller and Mo Guy. I'm not exactly sure what his role will be here, but, I don't know, maybe we'll carve one out at some point. But Zeller is going to be a 3 overall upgrade over Thompson. Of course, we basically have the rest of the rotation set if we want it to be. I do want to get Jalen Tyson some minutes at some point. I know, what did he take, 20 overall? Yeah, number 20 overall. I'd like to find him a spot, and again, this is, I don't want to say a position of need, but this is maybe one of the weaker positions with this team, so we will keep an eye on it, because I do think there's obviously a little bit of potential there, but I'm a little bit nervous about the bench right now. Craig Porter Jr. is a little bit low for my liking at the backup point guard spot, but he is actually multi-year deal, again, only 24 years old, so there's a little bit of room for growth there, but if I had to, I guess, point out a big worry of mine right now, I would say it is that bench unit, but we're just going to go with it. We are basically locked in. We have a 10-man rotation, a bench unit, and let's just set that. The first season in Cleveland is officially upon us. We have gone ahead and finalized this 10-man rotation. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell as the 2 guards in my backcourt. I don't know if there's, any really major surprises here. The one thing I kind of worry about, and that might be crazy to say, is kind of the defense with this backcourt. I think Donovan Mitchell's defense has certainly improved. Darius Garland is not anything close to a premier defensive guard. So that's what I'm a little bit worried about. A little bit more consistency out of Garland offensively. Not worried about that with Mitchell here at all. Max Strus is going to be starting at my small forward spot. Now, if I auto-set this rotation, the game actually recommends I put a Coro there. I think Max Strus's shooting ability, his obviously spacing the floor, and just a little bit more consistency on offense than Okoro is certainly something that I'm going to value quite a bit. So he's going to be my starting small forward. Mobley and Allen in my front court, really no surprise there whatsoever. You got Karis LeVert here as my 6th man off the bench. Again, one of the really only, I guess, reliable scoring options for me with this backup group, so he will be playing the majority of the minutes. Got Isaac Okoro here as my backup small forward, Craig Porter Jr., the backup 1 guard, Cody Zeller, and then Georges Niang. So you can see where the bench certainly takes a little bit of a fall off, and that is something we will definitely, approach this offseason with, I don't want to say optimism, but I guess, maybe cautious optimism. So we'll keep an eye on that. This team is pretty good. We are certainly going to have to, click at the right moments if everything wants to go according to plan. Of course, it is first year for new head coach, Mr. Kenny Atkinson. So I am going to watch this carefully, and I am going to be cautiously optimistic. I'll see you guys at the end of year number 1. Pretty strong first season for us here in Cleveland. It sees us wrap it up with a record of 51-31, and honestly a 50-plus win year 1. And when I really didn't do a whole lot, I'll take it. Luka Doncic MVP, I know, big surprise. Regis Shea, your rookie of the year. Amen Thompson, Victor Wembanyama, if you got, my fucking GOAT, baby. Clutch player of the year, Mr. Jaylen Brown. 68-14 there in Dallas. Yeah, this game's a big fan of the Dallas Mavericks, if you didn't know. Okay, it is standing time. We are the 3 seed. We are going to be facing the Indiana Pacers here in round 1 of the playoffs, and it is certainly going to be a challenge. Here's a look at the West. Okay, let's go over some numbers real quick, see how everybody looked. Donovan Mitchell, fantastic, another really consistent season. Darius Garland, not up to the 21, 22 point per game season, but honestly, I'll take it. The assists are up per game. Rebounds are never going to be up, but the shooting percentage certainly is up, and that's a pretty good season. All right, we got Jared Allen in here, 15 and 12, very consistent. Evan Mobley, again, looking for a little bit of more of a bigger jump offensively. I don't know if the team around him has gotten better. I mean, certainly since his rookie season it has, but I don't know. I feel like there's a lot more to unlock with Mobley. Karis LeVert, Max Strus, Craig Porter Jr., Niang, Okoro, oh boy. Yeah, this... Again, I understand he's only playing, 18 minutes a night, and he's going to be relatively limited, but getting outscored by Craig Porter Jr. and Georges Niang, oh boy. Rebounds per game was Jared Allen, and assists was Darius Garland. So we are dancing with Indy here in round one. We are going to start this thing off with home court advantage. Here's a look at the Pacers 1 through 5. Halliburton, Nembhard, Mathurin, Siakam, and Turner, of course, very underrated group in my opinion. So this is not a walk in the park round one series. We are currently up 2-1. They do tie it up at 2s. We go up 3-2. We are going to game 7. It is do or die in round one. And we die. Not exactly what I was hoping for, and we're going to have to hit the drawing board this offseason. It was a positive first season, all things considered, but we need to certainly consider all our options. And surprise, surprise, Luka and Dallas win it all here in year one. All right, it is time for the offseason. Of course, you have a Cavalier legend here in LeBron James, calling it a career after 22 years in the NBA, age 40. I mean, it's insane, man. It's so crazy. How many players, like if you had to put a number on it, since LeBron James's career started, right? He's drafted number 1 overall back in 2003. From like the 2004 draft all the way up until now, how many players do you think have been drafted? Like how many players' careers do you think have started and ended in that timeline? It's probably a crazy big number that we can't even, begin to guess, but just the definition of consistency, we are going to retire his number. Again, not really a big surprise there. I'm assuming he's going to probably sign a one-day contract with Cleveland and retire a Cavalier. Wow, the Rockets, they were bad enough to have the number 1 overall pick. That is a bit of a surprise. The first season under Kenny Atkinson was pretty solid in the regular season. Of course, disappointing end in the playoffs. His ratings are pretty solid, but all things considered, he has 1 year left on his deal, so we will make a decision next offseason. Let's head up to the draft. I don't think we have our first. We do not. I am just going to check. Do the Jazz have it? Because that would actually make the most sense. They do. I'm assuming this is probably factual, dating back to the Donovan Mitchell trade. So we do have a second-round pick. It is at number 24. I am just going to pass upon using it. I don't think there's any value there. So not drafted anybody this year. We'll head up to team player options. We have absolutely none. We look at qualifying, also none. And now as we enter free agency, Karis LeVert is basically the one and only guy I'd actually consider re-signing. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to let Tristan Thompson walk out the door, JT Thor as well. We bring back LeVert, and I do think it is time for an upgrade. As I mentioned, we're looking to make a little bit of an upgrade at our small forward spot, and I think Mikal Bridges would obviously be that. He's a guy that can score the basketball, but he's also a nice defensive upgrade here as well. So I'm not going to lie to you, I've actually already tried to make this trade. I've done a couple different versions, some that don't include Isaac Okoro because I thought it would be nice to hang on to him, but it just wasn't happening. So let's see what it is going to take to land Mr. Bridges. Now, I do have some other players I could throw in here. Only problem is going to be figuring out how the money is going to work. So Niang, nope. Okay, it's going to have to probably be Mogai. And then could you afford Zeller as well? And then I'm probably going to have to go up a first in 2028, and they agree. All right, I know it. I don't know if it's a lot to give up. We obviously gave up a decent amount of depth, but Bridges is certainly a very nice addition to have here. And as I mentioned, I wanted to get Jalen Tyson, their first-round pick in 2024. Some playing time at some point. He's only a 71 overall right now, but after progression, I'm hoping he's up to like a 73. That would be nice, and 10, 12 minutes a night, something like that. So I think there's upgrades elsewhere that we want to consider. Just making, I think the backup big men spots are both going to have to be upgraded. So honestly, as they're both expiring contract, Dean Wade, Georges Niang, probably not needed as much. Ooh, Derek Jones Jr. sitting here. Actually be a nice pickup. All right. I'm actually going to get Derek Jones Jr. Now, I don't know where exactly I'm going to play him, but what happens to Tyson if I move him to power forward? Oh, boy. All right, maybe Jalen Tyson does not play right now because Derek Jones Jr. is a nice addition off the bench, and I need nice additions off the bench. So I signed Kevon Looney a lot. I guess Luke Cornett's going to have to cut it for now because he stays consistent at a 77 overall at least. And then the power forward options are not great. Okay, well, our bench is probably going to suffer a little bit again next season. Honestly, I don't want to do this, but if Tyson can get me, I guess, a decent backup power forward, I will take it. So let's just look at our options here. Of course, only making... Ooh, Keon Ellis is just sitting here. Damn, man. There's a lot of good players I can get here. A lot of them are just, unfortunately, kind of out of position. Ooh, Tamani Kamara. All right, that's cool with me. Welcome to the team. We have made some nice upgrades with this group. I'll see you guys at the start of year 2. It is year 2 here in Cleveland. Last season was pretty solid. Unfortunately, the playoffs was not. So, this offseason, we made an upgrade, adding Mikal Bridges to this team. Also added a little bit of depth to our bench. And I think we're ready to go here for our full second season. It is Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, who, by the way, did he go down in overall? God, sometimes I just love the fucking stupidity of this game. It never fails to amaze me. Mikal Bridges here at the 3, Evan Mobley at the 4. He's developing quite nicely, and then Mr. Jared Allen as our starting center. So, there's no doubt it is a talented starting 5. We hope everything fits very well together, and hopefully it is going to be the team that leads us to the promised land. Karis LeVert remains my 6th man off the bench. We obviously brought him back, added Derek Jones Jr. to this team, brought in Luke Kornet as a backup big man to Monty Kamara, and then Craig Porter Jr. So, we are in a pretty good spot right now. I think there is a lot of hope with this team. The hope is that it can be better in the playoffs, though. So I'll see you guys at the end of year 2. Year 2 comes to an end. We do improve, but only by 1 game, unfortunately. We go 52-30, and it's a really, decent regular season. We're just hoping the playoffs will be better. Luka wins another MVP. Cooper Flagg, a member of the Chicago Bulls, as they took him number 2 overall. He's your Rookie of the Year. Marcus Sasser, 6th Man of the Year. Victor Wembanyama, another Depoy. Alex Sarr, Most Improved. Giannis, Clutch Player of the Year. And J. Kidd, once again, Coach of the Year. All right, let's go over some things. Standings. We are actually the 1 seed here in the East, so I will take that. That is a very, very good start, and it is certainly promising. Here's a look at the Western Conference. We were Please ignore all the random cuts that you're probably seeing in this video. I have an issue with my microphone, and I don't know what's going on. But long story short, every time I'm recording a video, just going about my day casually, this microphone right here, it just shoots up. The audio level just takes off to the sky, and it's basically just like ear rape, for lack of a better term. So yeah, I don't know how many random cuts are gonna be. I'm trying to sort it out, but it's been an issue for me for a little while. So yeah, I don't want your eardrums to get blown off. I don't know when the last time I cut was. Let's just go over the numbers again. I'm sorry if we missed awards or whatever. It is Mitchell, Garland, Bridges, Mobley, Allen, LeVert, Derek Jones Jr., Craig Porter Jr., Kamara, and Kornet. Rebounds, we were led by Mr. Mobley, and then assists was Garland. Okay, we are the 1 seed. Also, yeah, I don't know did I show you standings? I honestly don't know. But we were the 1 seed here in the East, and Dallas was 1 here in the West. Yeah, I don't know what I showed you because I'm trying to keep an eye on this little line right here, but when this thing shoots up to the sky, good God. Okay, round 1 of the playoffs. It is us in the Atlanta Hawks. It is Trae Young, Bogdanovich, Reza Shea, Johnson, and then a Okongwu. Let's sim through this first round right here. We lose game 1 on our home floor. That is less than ideal. Oh my God. 2K, I cannot do this game with you today. And we end up going to game 7. And we win. We do win game 7. All right, the team we lost to last year in round 1, that being the Indiana Pacers. They have not made any major changes in their starting 5. This is obviously still a very talented team. And I'm a little nervous, if I'm being completely honest. Oh my God. Wow. All right, it is time for some major changes. I didn't want to make major changes. Wow, the Bulls? Really? But they obviously have to happen. So let's just get into the offseason here. Let's sim through all this stuff. Wow, Popovich, 37 years, man. It's insane. Hall of Fame inductees, jersey retirements, and then draft lottery, which I don't think we'll have any picks. I don't think we've traded for anything that could possibly be a lottery. So, oh, good. Rockets have the number 1 overall pick again. We're moving on from Kenny Atkinson. Jason Kidd would be a very welcome addition to this team if he is interested in signing with us. And then Mike Stauffer, I guess. I'm going to take a day off of Stauffer. I'll go with Missoula if not. So, hopefully one of these guys is willing to take $13 million. Jason Kidd is, sure, welcome to the team. He has pretty good ratings, and 2K loves him, apparently. So, as we head up to the draft, I believe we do actually have our first-round pick. We do. It's number 27. I'll actually use it, and then I'm going to trade my second just to Milwaukee. So, let's just see. I don't know if whoever we draft is actually going to play for us. Maybe they end up being a bench player. Aiden Sheridan is the 1C rated player that is sitting here, so sure. Welcome to the team. 6'11" out of Alabama. Welcome to the team. He's a 73 overall. It's actually not bad. Craig Porter Jr. will be brought back. And yeah, I mean, I would be an idiot just to run this thing back. We've made it through 1 round of the playoffs so far. So we're going to pay Allen, we're going to pay Bridges, and then we are going to make some pretty big trades. This may end up biting me in the ass, and I'm not even really sure why I'm doing it. Maybe just for, I don't know, a little bit more consistency, something like that. I love our front court. I don't think they're the problem with this rebuild, but if I want to, have any shot of winning a championship, I got to switch things up a little bit. So we're adding Karl-Anthony Towns to this team, obviously listed as a power forward, but very capable of playing the center spot. And it unfortunately means that Jared Allen is probably on his way out of town. I do like Jared Allen quite a bit, but unfortunately, desperate times call for desperate measures. So, I mean, I don't know. Who's going to... Oh, that's okay. They both don't really move at the overall spot. Sure, Towns, why not? All right, so I like the addition of Karl-Anthony Towns. Obviously not necessarily known for, his super strong defense or anything like that, but it is going to allow us to obviously bring some new faces in here. I think Jalen Suggs would be a nice addition to take over at the point guard spot. Ultimately, he is an 85 overall. It's not anything crazy better than what we had with Darius Garland, but he's obviously a player that's pretty much, a lot better at defense than Darius Garland is. So he would be, a very welcomed addition, if you will. The points per game are pretty similar. A few less assists, but I will certainly take it. So let's see what we can do here with the Orlando Magic. We unfortunately only have one first-round pick, so that is something we have to keep an eye on. We do have Leonard Miller here, who I don't actually really need, so anyway, I can just get this done with seconds. I would really appreciate it. Okay, not going to happen. I'll give you a first. Okay. Welcome to the team, Jalen Suggs. Obviously excited to have him here. So we have, changed 2 out of 5 starters on this team. We are still kind of lacking a little bit of an elite bench unit, but I think there is, ways, if you will, to try to get this a little bit better. So let's see. The shooting guard options are not great, to say it nicely. The backup center options are also not great, to say it nicely. Oh, baby. All right, Lukey Luke, welcome back, I guess. And then the shooting guard options, they suck. I mean, let's just be honest with each other. Lindy Waters actually might be my guy just because I know he's not going to go down in overalls, and he's a very similar, range right now, 76 compared to the 77 of a lot of other guys ahead of him. So that would be cool with me. Again, I know that we may, be... I don't want to say, heading into year 3 with a prayer, but that's almost what it kind of feels like right now. So, yeah, this is going to be the team. No other changes. I'll see you guys at the start of the 3rd and final regular season. Pretty heavy minutes for the starters here as we approach year 3. This bench did not get significantly better. If anything, it actually may have gotten worse. And that was not my goal, but I knew I had to make major changes. And of course, with the limited draft picks, I did not have many options. It is Jalen Suggs now as my point guard. Donovan Mitchell here at the 2 guard. Mikal Bridges, Evan Mobley, and new addition here of Karl-Anthony Towns. Bench unit will be led by Derrick Jones Jr., Lindy Waters the 3rd, Luke Court. This is the saddest fucking bench I've ever had. We have... yeah, prayer, I guess, is what we would need right now. I'll see you guys at the end of year 3. Whenever I think I understand how this game works, I always like to remind myself that I don't have a fucking clue. Because this team was not only good, we were historically good. Let me know how this team goes 74-8. What? I've been struggling to hit 55 wins this entire video. I trade Darius Garland and add Karl-Anthony Towns in 74 wins. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's a great regular season. So, it's shocking. Nobody expected it. I'll tell you myself, if I was a betting man, which I am, I certainly would not have bet on this team being the best regular season team of all time. So there's that. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Cameron Boozer, Marcus Sasser, Victor Wembanyama, Devin Carter, Tyler Hero, and then Jason Kidd. Maybe this is the answer. Maybe Jason Kidd is just the be-all, end-all for us. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the standings. It is a safe bet that we are the 1 seed here in the Eastern Conference. Here's a look at Oklahoma City as they win the West after winning the championship last season. And here are the numbers. Mitchell, Bridges, Suggs, Mobley. Towns wasn't even crazy, 24 points a game or anything like that. Nope, he's just 15 points a game doing his thing. Honestly, I have had teams that are way better than this, not even crack 60 wins. So this being a 74-win team is a big surprise. All right, it is us and the Orlando Magic. Of course, we traded them Jared Allen. They traded us Jalen Suggs, and they are pretty good. There's no doubt about that. So I am going to hope and pray that we do not get bounced in the first round. We are up 3-0 right now. We sweep. Okay, really good start. This is us and the Toronto Raptors. They actually won the East last year, so I guess maybe I got to respect them a little bit, but they don't really move me that much, to be honest with you. And we are up 2-1 right now. Oh, my God, 2K. Oh, it's like they fucking hear me. It's like they're in my walls. Oh, my God. Wow. Okay, well, note to self. Never do another Cavs rebuild because they are aggravating as all hell. Towns. Yeah. Just bad. Just bad. All right, this was the rebuild from hell because I have obviously, been disappointed about this, and we did not even make it to a conference finals. That is the first rebuild of 2K25 where I failed to accomplish that. So, yeah, disappointing. We improved the team. There's no doubt about that, but, man, I don't know. I don't know what I have to do differently. I mean, it is what it is. I win some, I lose some. So, yeah, again, this was an aggravating rebuild, not only because of this, but because this piece of shit microphone that I have sitting right here that I spent way too much money on and it doesn't fucking work. And, yeah, so I will fix that, hopefully, going forward for future videos and hopefully fix this gameplay, because this was not fun, man. This was bad. This was ugh. But I show you the good, the bad, and the ugly, because I do not like to pretend that every single video is a massive success, because it's just not. So let me know any other rebuild ideas down below in the comment section. I am hoping to get through all 30 teams by opening night, and we are very much on track to do so. So that is it for me. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.